Hi everyone, and welcome back to Rough Rider, where every week I talk writing, self-publishing, and making it as an author. So ebooks are usually a good place to start when you're self-publishing. They're easy to format, you only need a front cover, and you can enable distribution really quickly. So it's not really a shock that Kindle Direct Publishing is the go-to for self-publishing authors trying to self-publish an ebook. And one of the features that they offer is the KDP Select program. So the question for today is it worth enrolling your ebook in KDP Select? So here's 5 things you should know about it before you decide to enroll your ebook. The first thing that you should know about KDP Select is that it costs you nothing. This is a major plus to the KDP Select program, is that it's completely free. You don't have to pay any enrollment fees, and you don't give up any extra cut of your royalties to KDP just for being in the program. On Amazon's end, KDP Select makes sure that these ebooks are distributed exclusively by Amazon. So it means none of their competitors are going to be making any money off of these ebooks. So they don't really need to charge you anything to be in this program because they're going to be making money regardless. That being said, if you decide you're going to run ads for your ebook, like I mentioned in the last video, you will have to pay for those. That kind of stuff's not included in KDP Select. The program doesn't instantly boost your ebook's visibility. It just offers features that will make your ebook an easier sell, but the readers still have to find it. It's not going to advertise your book for you. So you'll still have to market your book with paid ads or on social media. But that leads me to the second thing you should know about KDP Select, is that it gives you more promotional opportunities. This is what draws a lot of self-publishing authors to KDP Select. It gives you promotional opportunities that you're not going to get anywhere else. If your book's enrolled in KDP Select, you'll be able to take advantage of Kindle countdown deals and free book promotions. Ultimately, whichever one you decide to do, you're still going to have to market your book on social media so that way people know that there's some sort of promotion going on, because they're not automatically advertised. But here's the rundown of these features. Kindle countdown deals let you sell your ebook at a discounted price for a limited time. So while your ebook is discounted with a countdown deal, any potential reader who's viewing your product page is going to see a little clock there that's ticking down. This kind of generates excitement about the deal because they know, okay, this is a limited time. I can see that there's only 2 days left for me to get it at this price. It's also going to show the discounted price compared to the regular price, so they know how much of a deal they're getting. This just gives them more incentive to actually buy it. Your royalty rate stays the same. So if you were getting 70% royalties before, you're still going to get 70% royalties, but it's going to be based on the discounted price, not the original price. So you'll be making less money off of it, but it is for just a limited time, and you may sell more books, which will add up. Some things you should know though is that your book has to be priced between $2.99 and $24.99. The deal can only run for a maximum of 7 days, and you can only do one countdown deal per 90-day enrollment period with KDP Select. The other promotional feature is free book promos. That's another way to attract new readers. They let you offer your ebook for free, which really increases your chances of someone downloading it because they're not going to be spending any money on it. There's no risk to them. They can just download it. If they decide they don't like it, fine. They didn't spend money, so it doesn't really matter. And like I said, you're not going to be making any royalties off of a book that's being offered for free, but it's a good way to widen your audience and really get your book out there. You'll be able to do a free book promo for up to 5 days during your book's 90-day enrollment period with KDP Select, and you can either do that for 5 consecutive days, or you can split it up over the course of that 90-day period. So these are some good features that you're not going to get elsewhere. I can't think of any self-publishing platform for ebooks that does let you do that. I could be wrong though, so if you do know of one that lets you do this, please put it in the comments and correct me. But one thing I do know for sure is the next thing that you should know about KDP Select, which is that it's limited to distribution on Amazon. This is a really important thing you should know about KDP Select. If your book's enrolled in the program, you can only distribute that ebook on Amazon. That means you're not going to be able to sell it through Google Play, Apple Books, Kobo, anything like that. It's only going to be available to readers who have a Kindle e-reader, the Kindle app on their phone or their tablet, or an Amazon Fire tablet. Your book will actually get booted from the program if Amazon catches you distributing it elsewhere during that 90-day enrollment period. So if you want your ebook to be available natively on all devices, then KDP Select really isn't an option for you. But before you rule it out for that reason, consider that Amazon really dominates the ebook market. A little under 70% of ebooks are read on a Kindle or with the Kindle app or on a Fire tablet, and that's more than twice the market share of even Amazon's second biggest competitor, which is Barnes & Noble. So your ebook's still going to be available to the majority of people who read ebooks, given that most of them are reading on a Kindle anyway. Also, the Kindle app is free, so anyone with a phone can download that. So the benefits of joining KDP Select could very easily outweigh that one negative that I can think of, which is that you're limited to Amazon customers. But because Amazon customers make up the majority of ebook readers anyway, I don't know if it really matters that much. But if you do enroll in KDP Select and find that you don't like that limited distribution, you should know the next thing, which is that enrollment is only temporary. If you decide you're going to use KDP Select, just know that you're not really locked into it. Your ebook's only going to be enrolled for a 90-day period. When that 90 days is up, you can either choose choose to re-enroll it, or you can just cancel it, no harm done. So if you're not sure about enrolling your ebook in this program, there's really no harm in trying it out because you're only stuck with it for 90 days anyway. And if you find out it didn't really work for you, then fine, you don't have to re-enroll it. So after that 90-day enrollment ends, it's good to check your numbers and see how it did. If sales were higher than before you enrolled your book in KDP Select, then it's not really a bad idea to try it out for another 90 days. If there really wasn't any difference in sales or just wasn't really a big difference at all, and you tried out all of KDP Select's promotional opportunities and it still didn't really do a whole lot, then it might make more sense to just start distributing your book elsewhere and not remain exclusively on Amazon. And the next thing you should know about KDP Select is that your royalties are going to work differently. Typically, you get 35 to 70% royalties on any ebook that you sell. However, when your book is enrolled in KDP Select, it's going to be offered basically for free to customers who are subscribed to Kindle Unlimited. It's a subscription service from Amazon that lets them read ebooks for free. They pay for this subscription, but then anytime they want to read a Kindle ebook, they can just download it without having to pay for that ebook individually. And naturally, you couldn't get 35 to 70% of nothing. So KDP found a way to give you royalties on books that aren't being sold for like a specific price. That being said though, if an Amazon customer who's not subscribed to Kindle Unlimited decides to buy your ebook, they're just going to buy it the normal way. It's going to have its normal list price and they'll buy it and you get 35 to 70%, whatever you picked. But if it is someone who has Kindle Unlimited, the amount of money that you're going to get is going to be based on the page count that has been read. Your royalties are going to be taken from the KDP Select Global Fund, which as far as I can tell is basically a pool of all the subscription money they get for people who are part of Kindle Unlimited. But the amount you get from that is determined by the number of pages read. Now, obviously, page count is going to differ depending on the device someone's reading on because screen sizes aren't all the same. So one might be able to fit more words on a page than another. So KDP developed a system to account for that difference in screen size and page count, and they call it Kindle Edition Normalized Page Count, or KENPC version 3.0. You can actually check the specially calculated page count on your dashboard or your bookshelf when you log into KDP. So anyway, that's a little complicated, but Amazon will tell you how much you earned. So if you decide to enroll your book in KDP Select, compare the royalties that you earned in a given period with KDP Select to the ones that you earned when you weren't enrolled in that program. If the royalties were significantly higher with KDP Select, I think it would be silly not to stick with it. But if there wasn't much of a difference, then just discontinue it. And maybe you're not really using it. The promotional opportunities aren't doing a whole lot for you. You might as well just get it out there on other platforms. But anyway, my main point is that KDP Select offers you various opportunities that you're not going to get anywhere else. This is what I will say though. I used to have my ebooks enrolled in this program. It was okay. The free book promos were the most useful thing for me because the books were never really priced that high anyway. So the countdown deals weren't like a huge difference for the readers. But the free book promos were cool. Anytime I did that, you'd see like a huge spike in downloads, but you didn't make any money off it. So once that was done, the only real benefit that I thought I would have gotten from that is getting more customer reviews, but I didn't even really get that so much. So for me, I wanted to have these ebooks available on all different platforms. I wanted it on Kindle, so doing it through KDP made sense, but I also wanted it on Google Play. I wanted it on Apple Books. I wanted people who have a Nook to be able to read it. I just felt like ebooks are a hard enough thing for me to convince people to get, and I always want them to because I get the most royalties off of that. But when it's already tough to get people to do it, I didn't want to limit them to one specific way to read that ebook. If it was easier for them because I had an Android to do it with Google Play, then I wanted that to be an option. If they had an iPhone and they were like, oh, I do like Apple Books, I wanted them to be able to get it there. I just didn't want to limit it. And I understand that anyone can just download the Kindle app for free, but just adding an extra step for them to do when it's already hard enough to get people to read a book, especially an ebook if they're not used to it, I didn't want to add any extra steps that might hinder them from doing so. However, that being said, you might find that KDP Select worked really well for you. So try it out for that 90 days. If it works out, great, stick with it. If it doesn't bother you that you're only on Amazon, because really the customer base is highest on Amazon anyway, so you're not taking like a huge cut in customers by doing that. So anyway, it's up to you. Try it out, see what you think. If any of you have done this though, and you have enrolled your ebook in KDP Select and you found that it really worked out well for you, then please put a comment about that. I'd be interested to see what you have to say and see how that worked out. If you enrolled your book and it didn't work out, it just did nothing, tell us that as well, because that is helpful. But if you want to read a little bit more about this, which is probably a little clearer than me just saying it out loud, because there is some stuff with some math in there, check out the blog post that I have about this. The link is in the description. If you found it interesting or helpful, please like and subscribe, follow me on social media, and as always, thank you for watching. God bless.